Yo guys, what's going on and welcome back to a brand new video on HMSGP News, where today we're going to be talking about Jorge Lorenzo and where he will be going in the future. We're trying to maybe clear up a couple of things that has been going on over the last couple of weeks about the 5-time world champion. Now, obviously Lorenzo, from 2008 all the way to 2016, he was a Yamaha rider from the Fiat Yamaha to the Yamaha factory to Movistar Yamaha, and then he went off to Ducati, and obviously Ducati was a bit of a rocky spell for him. It took him 24 races to finally stand on the top step on the Bologna Bullet, but he did it at their home Grand Prix. No better place to do it, as we all know, at Mugello in the Tuscan Hills. He battled it out and then cleared off, really. He dominated that race, and he also dominated just 7 days later in Catalonia. He got 2 wins back to back. But then, unfortunately for the Spartan, bit of a blip in performance in Assen and Germany. But he was back on the podium, obviously, at Brno in that amazing fight with Marquez and Dovizioso, passing both of them at that final little switchy left to right chicane at the final part of the lap. Austria obviously returned back to the top step, but then that's where his season went downhill. San Marino, 17th, disappointing stuff for him. Massive high side in the first corner of Aragon, massive high side in free practice at Thailand, which then just ruined his season completely, and that was it till Valencia. So Lorenzo obviously injured himself in Aragon. He bruised his ankle. He then re-injured himself in Thailand and damaged his scaphoid, which he then re-damaged in a training accident when he was pre-season training for this season. So he arrived at Honda with limited testing done on the bike at all. He arrived obviously at the Qatar test and then went on to race to 13th place in Qatar and a not much better 12th at Argentina and Spain in Jerez, his home Grand Prix, where obviously he got his first podium with Ducati literally 4 races in at the home Grand Prix in Jerez. And then it just, again, for Lorenzo, it went downhill. A 12th in Jerez, like I said, and 11th in France. Italy was another disaster, P13. Catalonia, he's having his best race of his life in that one lap that he did. He was in P4 before crashing out and 10-pin bowling Dovizioso and both of the factory Yamahas of Vinales and Rossi. He then crashed in a post-race test crash at Catalonia towards the end of the day, which then niggled them injuries again. And then in Assen, he had another humongous crash in practice, and that was basically the end of his season up until now. We're now approaching the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, where we will be expecting to see Lorenzo back on the Honda. But just about 4 days ago, it was all kicking off around Jorge Lorenzo and in Lorenzo's corner. Now, obviously, like I've just said and read out the results, his last couple of years haven't been amazing. 17th, 9th, and he currently lies 19th in the 2019 MotoGP World Championship with just 19 points. Now, Lorenzo obviously doesn't look comfy on the Honda yet. No doubt he will get there. He did it with the Ducati. He's just got to have patience. But I don't know if he feels like that, because there's been recent rumours around Jorge Lorenzo replacing Jack Miller at the Pramac Ducati squad, which obviously would then be like, well, where's Miller going to go? Because Danilo Petrucci signed, Dovi's signed. It's like, where's Jack going to go? So Jack's now worried that he's going to be out of the ride. But then, out of the woodwork, it was announced that Jack Miller had actually had a contract from KTM, and then later on that night it was announced that Zarco was leaving, so everything was falling into place for Lorenzo to join Pramac Ducati. But then, as you thought things couldn't get any more complicated, Lorenzo's management then sneaked in to Spanish media that they had offered Lorenzo's services to Petronas Yamaha to replace either Quartararo or Morbidelli for free, to ride no wage. Just give me a Yamaha and I'll ride it for free. I'll pay for a ride or whatever it is. I don't know if Lorenzo's corner was gonna pay Petronas Yamaha his wages basically, so they work it out like that. I don't know, but it was basically Lorenzo was prepared to ride the Petronas Yamaha for free. Now I'm not sure how solid that rumor is, but it definitely seems that if that was true, it's a bit desperate from Lorenzo at this moment in time. He can tell that this Honda's not working. He can tell it's a bad decision. I think the dream team is a little bit well, I mean, it's only a dream from Marquez's corner, you know, 54 points or whatever it is in front of the championship. And then you've got Lorenzo crashing out everywhere and injuring himself. Obviously, high-sided in Qatar. Sure, he had a little off in Argentina. The crash in well, he actually didn't crash in America. He had a mechanical, but he also had a crash in America. Jerez, France, and Italy, I think, were the only weekends that he didn't fall off. And then Catalonia and Aston, 2 massive crashes. So, well, disaster for Lorenzo on the Honda. But anyway, Lorenzo's apparently responded to the rumours, saying that he will see out his Honda contract. So therefore, Jorge Lorenzo will stay on the Honda for 2019 and 2020. So after all this whole rumour thing, Lorenzo just comes in and just crunches it and says it's all a load of rubbish. I will be riding a Honda for 2019 and for 2020. And Jack Miller keeps his ride in Pramac. Zarco's going to finish out his season with KTM of the one of the 2 years and then leave. So there could be a bit of a shake-up at the end of this year. You know, there's now an opportunity for a Moto2 rider to pop in. So yeah, it's all kicking off out of nowhere really for MotoGP. But basically, at the end of the day, Jorge Lorenzo will be riding a Honda for the rest of this year and next year. That's what he says. But then again, also, if you look at Formula 1, Red Bull said that they weren't going to replace Gasly, and they have done. So you never know, you never know. So at this moment in time, it looks like Lorenzo will see out his Honda contract, squashing all the rumours regarding him going to Pramac Ducati to ride the 2020 Ducati with, you would have thought it would have been Jack and Pecco, and they would just let Pecco go. But I wouldn't know how that would work, because I'm sure Pecco's already signed and Miller hasn't. So you would then expect Miller to get sacked, but then that's not fair on Miller, because he's been fighting and getting podiums and fighting at the front. And yeah, it's a very interesting situation. But for now, as it stands, Jorge Lorenzo will see out his Honda contract. I think that's fair enough. I think, you know, he signed with Honda to do a job. If he can't do the job, he's got to at least see the contract out and have a go anyway. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be it for today. We'll find out more information, hopefully, when Jorge Lorenzo returns to MotoGP, whether that will be at Silverstone or Mazzano. We're still not sure. He was expected to return for Silverstone. I think he's expecting him to return as well. But we'll have to wait and see once he's finished his holiday in the Maldives, as Jack Miller famously said in the press conference at Austria. But yeah, there we go. That is it for today. Let us know your thoughts about Lorenzo. Do you think he's going to master the Honda and get a win? I think he will get a win at some point on the Honda, but we'll have to wait and see. He's not yet had a single top 10, and it's looking very, very tricky for him on the RC213V. But Lorenzo, he knows how to ride a bike, and he will for sure be back at the front. So there we go. That is it for today. Like I said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, thank you for watching, and goodbye.